Hi, everyone. This is the Weird World Podcast. I'm Dean.
Where Dean suddenly forgot how to do a podcast.
I don't know what you're talking about. No one else does either. So, who are you, by the way? What's your name?
My name is Carrie.
Who cares?
What's your name?
I already said my name.
Oh.
You're not even paying attention. You're looking at your paper. God. So we are here to give you some updates. Consider this a Weird World News update version. We're going to update a couple of stories that we covered in previous Weird World News episodes. We're going to start with one from Carrie, and then I have one as well.
Mine's not really an update, more as an addition to.
Okay, I guess mine kind of is too.
Remember the story about the bear that ate the mad honey in Turkey and got all high, and it was a hallucinogen and had to be rescued?
Yeah, it was a special kind of honey. It was a different kind of honey. I remember that. It had a weird name.
No, it was called mad honey, but
Mad
it was
honey,
basically from bees that use the rhododendron
Okay.
flowers,
It has
which apparently are very toxic. Did not
So the
know
toxic hallucinatory powers of the rhododendron translate into the honey that those bees make.
Mhm.
Intriguing.
And that honey is very expensive, like $170 a pound, as I recall.
So if someone was like did a lot of fentanyl and then they peed and someone for whatever reason drank the urine, would they get high?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
It flows right into one of my things.
Does it?
Good
Go
segue
flows.
there, Dean.
And that was unintentional, by the way.
It was.
But Carrie's use of the word flow there, I believe, was intentional.
Well, what I'm going to talk about is I think that poor little Balky's bear, that was just accidental. She got into the mad honey. She didn't do it on purpose. She was also a young bear who probably didn't know.
Yeah. Adolescents do some crazy
True.
shit. So
What I'm going to tell you about is animals who seek out certain foods and substances purposefully for their psychedelic inducing properties.
we do a lot of animals in these weird news things. Mine's animal related as well.
I know.
Go ahead.
Well, the first one, everybody knows cats and catnip. Well, we know
Sure.
that our own cats love catnip and get all high and weird, but wild cats do as well. Lions, leopards, and lynxes also like catnip. I guess it grows all around the world. It produces a chemical called nepentolactone, and I guess you can inhale it or inject it. I don't think they're injecting it, but it also makes wild cats drool and sniff and stretch and roll and do all that funny stuff that cats do.
It's hard to get clean syringes in parts of Canada where the lynx live. So, I mean, and leopards also. And so,
It's probably not hard to get clean syringes in Canada.
up in the north, the far
okay.
north, the colder areas.
Well, some scientists think that the plant also has hallucinogenic properties, and because some wildcats are known to swat at imaginary prey while they're high.
Cats don't need to be high to do crazy shit, especially when it comes to swats. I mean, our cat would run into walls chasing after a laser light all hours of the day. So,
But I doubt if wildcats
stone
are
cold
doing
sober. I am for now. Next time we go somewhere where there's possible cougars, I'm going to carry a laser and see if I can distract that threatening cougar with a laser light. I bet I could.
that. Well, jaguars also really like the psychoactive things in ayahuasca. It's called yage or something like that. Yeah.
Do they occasionally go into like a sweat lodge and
They don't need to.
go on find their? And if they have would they have a spirit human when they go on their journey?
I
Their
doubt it.
wilderness journey? Would they? Maybe.
Weirdo. Okay, the second one, deer and mushrooms.
Deers on shrooms.
Yeah, in Siberia, Scandinavia, and other similar regions, there are several species of deer, including moose and reindeer, that like to eat a certain kind of mushroom, amanita mushroom, when they're foraging for other food in the wintertime. Those mushrooms have a sedative material called muscimol. And it can cause the deer to act like they're drunk. And they kind of stumble around.
So can near beer, by the way, at parties.
And make strange noises. Isn't that funny? So back to your pee theory.
Yeah.
So the psychoactive properties of these mushrooms intensify during digestion and they infuse the animal's urine with more potent psychoactive properties.
Really?
So
you could drink moose pee and get high.
yeah, the deer
Damn.
in these regions have learned that. And there are also indigenous tribes who do as well.
Oh.
So they can ingest the intensified substance from the deer's urine, and it's a much more potent high
Yikes.
than just from eating the mushrooms.
That's one of those things it's like really like bad booze. Can be drunk to drink that booze. It's kind of like you have to be a little high already before you're going to drink moose pee and get higher. Or I feel like you would, smoke some weed and then drink some moose pee.
Yeah, gross. Huh? Okay, number 3, pufferfish.
Pufferfish.
They're super toxic.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I think
people
it can
eat
kill
them.
you. Can it kill you?
Oh, for sure. People have died when they're not fugu, when it's not.
Oh, is that what fugu is?
Uh-huh.
Well, dolphins are smarter than humans, and they have learned that they like the high-inducing properties of just a little bit of pufferfish toxin.
It's a dangerous game they're playing.
So what they do is they scare a pufferfish, stress it out so that it puffs up and then produces the toxin. And then they kind of toss it around in their mouths. And they do it very cautiously because they don't want to get too much, and they don't want to kill the pufferfish, I'm assuming. And so they just toss it around, get a little bit, and then they get high and they just kind of float around and
really,
in kind of like a trance. And yeah, isn't that weird?
I've seen it on TV, but do people really get high from licking frogs from South America? Is that a thing? Like toxic frogs?
I don't know if they do, but I know that I don't know if licking it works, but the people do scrape the substance off the frogs, and then I don't know what they have to do to it and
smoke it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. No, I was kidding.
I think you are right.
They really do smoke it?
Yeah,
okay.
I do. Yeah.
How?
And that's where the whole licking thing comes in. Like, it's such a hassle to scrape it, and
so just go ahead and lick a frog.
To smoke it. So then they just lick it. I don't know if it really works or not.
That famous Peter Gabriel song, "Lick That Frog," was based on an episode he had with Toxic Frog.
Yeah.
Stop saying yes when I'm making everything I'm just saying up. That's all. That's not even called "Lick That Frog." It's called "Kiss That Frog." You're scaring me, Carrie.
Well, I'm just listening to your story.
Okay.
I'm not saying yes, you're right.
Yes, you are. Yeah. Sure. Famous song. I like that song.
Well, why are you lying to our listeners? That's not nice.
I thought it was obvious.
Well, so anyway, that's interesting about dolphins.
Yeah.
Bighorn sheep like to ingest lichen.
Delish. Isn't that just for the salt?
No. Well, I don't know. But
and the green.
There is a certain kind of lichen, probably their favorite type of lichen, that has an addictive combination of algae and fungus.
It's called ranch flavored lichen, I believe.
It only exists in extreme environments, so it's very treacherous for them to get to it. That probably makes it even better.
Yeah.
But it's hallucinogenic. And they scrape it off the rocks with their teeth. And then they also wear away their teeth.
That's a high price to pay. Can any of these do the same to humans?
I would imagine.
I would think so too.
Because we know about the last one. Wallabies get high on poppies.
Oh.
Which we know.
Now, these they do shoot up, right? There is available. In Australia is well known with needle exchange programs. So
nope.
No.
But on Tasmania, farmers have found wallabies like in fields of poppy plants just eating tons of them.
Easy prey for a roving... Wait, there aren't any dingoes in Tasmania, but we believe there are thylacines. So is there any predators left on Tasmania?
I have no idea.
Huh.
But so after the wallabies eat the poppies, they run around in circles until they crash. And so it looks like crop circles.
Really?
Uh-huh. And then so they keep coming back for more.
I don't blame them.
And we all know poppies make heroin.
Make you sleepy.
Yeah.
But heroin is an
painkillers.
extraction process, right? You can't just eat poppies. Humans can't eat poppies and get high, can they?
I don't know.
If you do it in California, you get arrested.
Yeah, that's true.
We protect our poppies.
I'm sure it's a certain kind of poppies.
Probably.
I don't think
Still,
our
even
poppies
then,
are probably not.
I feel like heroin that comes from poppies
Yeah.
is, it's a process there.
Yes.
It's like corn and the moonshine. You got to do some shit first.
There is.
You don't just eat corn.
So that's, also, this one's not in my notes, but you've heard of loco weed?
Who hasn't?
I always thought that was marijuana.
I think it is.
It isn't.
It's not. What is it?
No, there is an actual weed called loco weed that grows wild in the Midwest of the United States. It's a high protein plant that cows will, because it's growing wild. So when cows find it, they want it. I guess they're attracted to it because
Protein?
Yeah, high protein.
Cows need protein?
But it also,
I mean, I know that sounds like a stupid question, but herbivores, they don't really eat protein.
I don't know.
You think
they like it, but it also makes them loco.
Yeah, I think people have adopted it to refer to weed also, but I didn't know there was an actual real loco weed that cows get high. So the cows are getting high?
Yeah, well, yes.
Okay.
It has colorful flowers and a deadly phytotoxin called swainsinine, which it can cause grazing animals to go into a calm trance where they just kind of stand around and do nothing.
And you can tip them.
Doesn't sound very dangerous to me.
Yeah, it does. What if there's predators? Again, I'm worried about predators.
Oh, I guess it says there's been instances where livestock have eaten too much and then they act a little crazy and energetic. And then after the levels drop and then they are lethargic and disoriented.
That probably explains some of the bisons going after tourists in Yellowstone. Maybe.
Funny.
They had some local weed and got a little skittish.
Yeah. So that's my update.
Yeah, that was
What's
updates,
yours?
I feel like.
I know.
Mine is about an animal as well. This isn't the update, but I've been reading about how orcas, one of my favorite animals, I'm sure yours as well, known as killer whales, which I consider a derogatory term and offensive. They are orcas. Any other words? Their word. I think it's South Africa. They've been going after sharks, including great white sharks, killing them just to eat their livers and leaving the rest of the carcass. They eat enough and dig through enough to get to the liver. Num 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 on the liver. The rest of the carcass washes up.
Oh, that's wasteful.
It is wasteful, orcas, but it sounds delicious.
I imagine there's all kinds of other creatures in the sea that will eat what's left over, right?
Probably. Let's assume yes.
Yeah.
But I did see a picture of a carcass, and it's kind of like shredded in his abdomen. His liver's gone, and otherwise it looked pretty intact. The whole front of the half of it, and even the tail was intact. So they dig through for the liver and eat that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How do they know? Has there been any research into this?
Sure. Must have been. I have no idea. But that's not my story. My update is about something we brought to you, I can't remember when, one of the first ones, I think, which was about orcas attacking boats, particularly off of the Iberian Peninsula, off of the coast of Spain and Portugal. It's been ramping up.
Really?
It looks like it might even be adopted by the entire subspecies. They're called Iberian orcas. There's very few of them left.
They're revolting for some reason.
We don't know. We'll talk about that in a second. So very recent, just a few days ago, they went after another ship off the southern coast of Spain. It was on the way to Gibraltar, flying under actually a British flag. It was called the Moustique, and a group of orcas came after it, and like they are wont to do, they went after the rudder. They break the rudder, and in this case, they're also ramming the side, and they pierced the hull of the ship.
Oh my God.
I mean, it has to be terrifying. These things can last, by the way, anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours long. I think this one lasted like 90 minutes. So they're repeatedly ramming and messing with it. They appear to go after the rudder to disable the boat.
Yeah.
When the boat is disabled and it's stopped and it's dead in the water, they typically leave. So you have no appearance that they're trying to hurt anyone. They're messing with your boat. They're going to fuck up your boat and leave you stranded in the ocean.
Have there ever been any instances of people being hurt?
There have not.
Wow.
Not in these boat attacks anyway. So they call this boat the Mystique boat. They frantically call the Spanish authorities, and the Spanish deployed they have like a rapid rescue vessel and a helicopter, and it carried a pump, and and this was by the way, a 20-meter, a 66-foot vessel. It's a pretty big boat.
Yeah.
And they landed on it and started pumping it. But they had to tow it into harbor at Cadiz. It was completely disabled, couldn't run.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. 20 of these interactions have been in the last month alone in and around just the Strait of Gibraltar.
Huh.
They're doing it a lot. It's usually smaller vessels, but it could be 30 footers, 50 footers, 60 footers. In 2022, for the full year, there were 207 interactions between boats and orcas in this
Why are
Spanish
people
coast.
still going out on boats?
It's scary. This most recent one was the fourth time. There was the third one just this year. I'm not sure if it was just in the last month or so. It was on May 4th. So a group of orcas attacked a vessel called the Iberian Champagne. It was a sailing yacht, and they, again, rammed it so badly that it was completely flooded and had to be abandoned. Again, they called the authorities, and they abandoned it, and it sunk.
Wow.
So they sunk that one. In this attack of the Albania, what was it called again? The Iberian Champagne, this yacht. This was a group that they believe was a mother and possibly a young. They're not sure, but there was a larger animal and two smaller orcas. And the two smaller ones went back to the rudder and like messed with the rudder, and rammed it, held it, bit it, things like that. The big one, they think it's a female orca, kept repeatedly ramming the hull with her head, backing up, speeding forward, ramming the hull with her head again and again and again until she sunk it. It started leaking so bad they had to, as I mentioned, abandon it, and it sank.
That doesn't sound like it's that great for the orca.
It's not, and a lot of some of the researchers are really worried because there's 39 Iberian orcas left by the most recent census, which is about over a decade ago, is 2011. So they're very, very scarce. They're highly endangered, and 4 of those orcas have died in the last 10 years or so. They haven't for sure associated any of those with these kinds of attack. It may just be coincidence, but they are worried that they are going to get hurt doing this. But they keep on doing it.
And the authorities are never going after the orcas.
No.
Okay. That's
no,
good.
But they're also worried that somebody's going to start taking shots at them to protect their boat,
right.
which is probably inevitable if they keep doing it.
Yeah.
Experts believe that this behavior may be being taught even.
Right.
The person on that boat on the yacht, said, quote, "The little one shook the rudder at the back while the big one repeatedly backed up and rammed the ship with full force from the side." But he said, "The two little orcas observed the bigger one's technique, and with a slight run-up, they too slammed into the boat." So is it being taught or just being mimicked? We don't know, but it's possible they're actually teaching each other this behavior.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a little
Are
scary.
these just pleasure boats?
Yeah.
It's not.
They're all sailing in catamaran. They almost never go after like powered fishing boats. Occasionally they do, but almost always it's some kind of sailing boat or catamaran, something like that in almost every case.
Okay, because I was going to say if there's a motor, I mean, that would be very dangerous.
Yeah, it would be.
Especially if they're messing around with the rudder. Isn't that right by where a motor would be?
Yes, it is. So maybe they're pretty damn smart. They're dolphins. They're essentially giant porpoises. Right. So they're very intelligent. I don't think dolphins are smarter than whales. Yeah, they are. For sure.
I don't necessarily think so.
Dolphins and porpoises are the smartest things out there.
But,
2 days earlier, before this, another 6 orcas attacked a sailboat. The sailor that was navigating it was named Greg Blackburn, and he was on board. And he said the mother orca, to him, appeared to be teaching its calf how to charge the rudder and slam into the rudder. Quote, "It was definitely some form of education, teaching going on." Now, he's not an expert. Experts are, I think, very skeptical of that, but it is interesting. It's at the very least they're learning from one another, whether it's intentional teaching or not. I don't know. So they attack the rudder. Sometimes they scrape the hull with their teeth. Can you imagine this 25, 30 foot? They can get as much as 30 feet, over 9 meters. They're huge, huge animals. They are apex predators. The only thing bigger that's an active predator in the ocean is a sperm whale. These are absolutely very, very dangerous animals. If they wanted to kill us, if they wanted to eat us, they'd eat us all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, every kayaker out off of Puget Sound would be fresh meat if they wanted to go after you. In 3 cases, they have sunk boats. In July 2022, they sank a sailboat with 5 people on board. In November of 2022, they caused a sailboat carrying 4 to go down. And then there's this one with the Iberian Champagne. So they've sunk 3 boats here just in the last less than a year.
That would be terrifying. We have been conditioned to be afraid of orcas.
We have? Why would you say that?
Because they're called killer whales, and
Oh,
there have been movies
okay.
and stuff. And
Maybe this is revenge for A,
that's what I
SeaWorld,
said.
and B, the movie Orca.
Yeah.
Not a good movie. It was Jaws with an orca
Yeah.
attempt. But it's funny you say that because I wouldn't feel threatened at all of a killer whale.
Okay.
Like I said, if they wanted to, there's been no verified. I think we talked about this last time when we first told the story. There's no verified incident of an orca ever attacking a human being with intent to prey.
Yeah.
One time, I think there's some guy. There's like a researcher on an ice floe, and an orca was trying to tip him off, which is what they'll do to seals or penguins to eat them. They'll tip you off and go get you as you fall on the other side. But they're pretty sure the orca thought he was a seal, and he was not eaten.
Did he fall off?
I think he was able to hold on until the boat came and got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It would still be very scary. Like, oh, my bad. Sorry, but I just swallowed you.
Yeah.
So, again, it's sails boats. They attack the stern, and they attack the rudder. As one of these articles said, they lose interest as soon as they have successfully stopped the boat.
Yeah.
In more than 5, this is a guy named, I can't think, is Lopez Fernandez. He's a Spanish researcher. And he works for a group called Atlantica Orca Working Group, GTOA, as you know. He said, quote, in more than 500 interaction events recorded since 2020, there are 3 sunken ships. We estimate that killer whales, which he shouldn't say, maybe, I'm going to assume a bad translation there, only touch 1 ship out of every 100 that sail through the location. And he's saying that like, so don't worry about it. Really?
Right.
1 in 100? And he's probably exaggerating conservatively. You'll notice this. You notice with all researchers, and rightfully so, they're very protective. They're saying, oh, this is no big deal. This is nothing. This is going to go away. They're going to stop doing it. They're going to lose interest because they're trying to protect their... It's the same way a lot of SARC researchers always say, oh, attacking people's an accident. They think you're a seal, which is complete bullshit.
Yeah.
For sure, they're preying on us. But they say that to protect the animal that they love and research all the time. I get it, but these are dangerous situations.
Well, I'm on the shark side too. I mean, we're in their ocean.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
So stop saying they think we're a seal.
Yeah.
They think we're meat, and that's fine. That's what they do. That's how they act.
And it's still very rare. So
it's extremely rare. Yeah. So don't alibi for them, shark researchers. So dumb. Like, why would you give up meat?
Yeah.
They're predators who need to consume protein. Yeah. About 20% of these attacks have caused enough damage to at least disable the vessel. Yeah. So again, these are dangerous behavior. By the way, it's not been seen. This behavior is unknown anywhere outside of the Iberian Peninsula, at least right now. They've done some other weird things. Like, remember in the first one we said, like, orcas off of the Washington coast were swimming around with dead salmon on their head. Yeah. So there's a couple of things, a couple of reasons I think this might be happening. There's an orca named White Gladys. She's one of she's a large adult female in this subspecies. And she was the first adult that they noticed being involved in these incidents. And researchers think maybe something happened to her. So a fishing boat, she got snared in a net of a fishing boat or something bad happened that she associates with boats. And she's going after boats, and she's teaching or other orcas are learning from her behavior by going after these boats and stopping them. Quote, this is Lopez again. He says, all this has to make us reflect on the fact that human activities, even in an indirect way, are at the origin of this behavior. End quote. The problem is it might not be that. Yeah. That could be other researchers think it's a quote fad. Again, the salmon on the head, that was a fad. They did it for a while, mostly male adolescent orcas. So male adolescents are the worst things in every species.
You said it, not me.
It's a fact. And they did this salmon fad thing. They think maybe that is happening here. This is some kind of fad. This wouldn't be male adolescents because all genders and ages are apparently doing it. Yeah. At least I think, I could have the number wrong, but I think 9 separate orcas have been identified as doing this behavior, as attacking boats for this reason, at least. So they think it just might be imitation and the fad will eventually go away. That's the other. So it's like revenge, or just like someone did it for whatever reason. Other people said that looks fun. Yeah. Other orcas said that looks fun and started doing it again. So the authorities now, you have to report any interaction with an orca. You have to report it to the Spanish authorities or the Portuguese authorities. That's good. And they have official advisory now. If you see orcas, try to stay away from them. If you see them like turning around and coming back towards you or circling or something like that, you're told, get away as fast as you can.
If you can.
If you can, give them a wide berth. Again, these are sailing vessels. I wonder if because sailing vessels and catamarans can be as fast as most, I'm assuming are not as fast as most powered vehicles.
Yeah.
Maybe they are, though. Actually, sailing yachts can go pretty damn fast. Or is it
depends.
because they're less dangerous to them because they understand that propeller could kill them? I don't know.
That's what I was thinking.
So that's the update on orcas behaving badly around boats.
I have an orcas behaving heartwarmingly lovely story.
That's better. Tell us about that.
It's just from my head. I saw a video.
So you're making it up?
No.
Okay.
No, but I don't have it written down. I didn't plan on that.
Is it the one with the orca plays the piano?
No.
No, okay.
I didn't know your story was going to be about orcas. I'm pretty sure they were orcas. There's an albino orca. And I don't know exactly where this is, but somebody has video of it. And other people have seen this before. It's like a known pod or whatever. Do orcas travel in pods?
Yes.
Okay. It's one albino orca and then the others. And they believe the albino orca is blind.
Oh.
And so the other orcas just kind of slowly swim alongside of it and nudge it in the right direction.
That's very nice.
Yeah, isn't that sweet?
It's like Scent of a Woman in orca world, kind of. So maybe not really at all.
Kept it alive.
That's very. And do they feed it? Can it feed? Well, wait. Don't they hunt by echolocation?
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. To be honest, either. But
it was just a quick little video, and whoever was posting it or narrating,
I don't think they rely.
I think the white orca had a name, so it's known to people wherever this.
I don't think they rely on eyesight to hunt. I think they do hunt by echolocation or something. I think I could be completely wrong about that, but I imagine what they're trying to do is keep it close because you want to stay close to the pod, and it hey, we're going this way.
Yep.
Swim north.
Yep.
Huh.
Pretty nice.
Good
though.
for the
So they don't just leave it to its own devices to survive or not.
I'm very pro orca, as you might
too.
be able to tell. But so I hope all you Spanish and Portuguese listeners, if you're attacked by an orca, please don't harm it. Just you know what, try to get away. If it disables your vessel, it disables your vessel. Deal with it.
Tips from Dean.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have one more for you. This is also an update. I said before that the orca one wasn't an update. It kind of was an update. This one is for sure an update. We talked about in the past the thylacine. I don't know if we did it on Weird News. Well, I think we did a weird bit on.
No, we did. Remember they found the
that's right.
thylacine body or skeleton in a drawer or whatever.
Yeah. So this is another update of the thylacine, which, in case you don't know, that is also sometimes called the Tasmanian tiger. Or the Tasmanian wolf, is a dog-like marsupial that had stripes that lived in Australia and Tasmania. When dingoes came, they wiped them out of the Australian mainland, but they survived in Tasmania up until modern times.
The 1930s.
1936 in Hobart Zoo was the last one to die. There's great black and white film of it walking around this tiny little cement-lined cage.
Great film.
Considering that it does all, you can see a living extinct creature, thought extinct creature. You can see it open its mouth extraordinarily wide. The hunters were fearful that they were going to kill their sheep, so they wiped them out because they're awful, awful people. And
the hunters, the farmers.
Farmers and ranchers basically wiped them out. There was a bounty on them. It's this disgusting. They are thought, though, by many to still live in the wilds of very mountainous and forested Tasmania, the island south of Australia, part of Australia. Mm-hmm. Recently, some researchers at the University of Tasmania looked into all the reports. So they basically did kind of a meta-analysis of different alleged sightings since 1936 of people who thought they were seeing a thylacine in Tasmania. And they came to the conclusion that pretty good chance that they lived on after 1936. If you stop and think about it, that's almost certainly true, honestly, that really you think you got the very, very last one is in your zoo. That's unlikely in a place as wild and as rugged as parts of Tasmania are. So they looked at these sightings and they essentially tried to approach it scientifically. They effectively gave ratings on reliability and credibility depending on the source of those sightings. So if you were a hunter or a trapper or especially a park ranger, you sort of got a better score on that sighting. It was thought to be more reliable. Which is interesting because that's literally an
Idea.
idea I had I want to say the 1980s. I was going to write a book, maybe a little bit later than that, not much, on cryptozoology and cryptids.
Yeah.
Where I was going to do exactly that. I was going to assess the sightings for how reliable. Is it just some tourist? Or is it someone who has some relationship with nature, has some expertise, something like that, and sort of rank the credibility of the sightings and give it a kind of a score, which is what they did.
It seems kind of arbitrary.
It's not arbitrary. Arbitrary is not the right word for it. You can question the methodology, but it's certainly not arbitrary. Giving someone with a more direct relationship with nature a better score makes perfect sense.
But see, that's only one variable.
That's a humongously important variable. You're right. You could add things like, was it daytime versus nighttime? I had I can't remember. I probably don't have it any longer. I had like a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So here's the variables I was going to use and things like that. Time of day, light.
Yeah.
But how long it was seen.
I'm talking about variables relating to the reliability of the source.
Like what?
But we don't need to get into it.
Okay. So anyway, they analyzed 1,237 reports from 1910 to 2019, which is interesting because in 1910 they were known to still be alive, all the way up to 2019, and they gave them these rankings, and they then formulated a statistical model that they thought that thylacines may have lived at least into the 1940s and possibly into the 1970s. I guess these start getting better or worse. I don't know exactly. They didn't explain it in this article I read. I think it was in Smithsonian Magazine. And a small chance that they existed up to the early 2000s. A, quote, tiny possibility, unquote, that thylacines still inhabit Tasmania to this day. The study author was named Barry Brook. Again, he was an environmental scientist at the University of Tasmania. And he said, sure, tiny, but he thinks it's incredibly unlikely that they're still around.
Yeah.
Here's a quote from him. The thylacine was a large, wide-ranging predator, and there have been enough cameras out there, especially over the last 10 years, to say it's just not there. You could have entertained that hypothesis 10 or 15 years ago when there hadn't been much scientific effort out there, but there has been now, and we still haven't found any trace, unquote. I think that's pessimistic, honestly. It's a little bit, I've said this before, it's a little bit arrogant that you think you've put those cameras in the exact right places at the exact right times. And I mean, don't get me wrong, if you force me to say yes or no, I'd probably say no.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of a possibility than they let on. I think they are internally exaggerating their own competence.
How many? I mean, you probably
didn't sound right, but
you probably don't know this. But I mean, how many sightings from the 1950s to the 1970s?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, people had cameras in those days, and
there are absolutely videos and still pictures of things that appear to be thylacines. I've seen them. They sure as hell appear to be thylacines. Some of them look like they clearly have stripes. The problem is, of course, they're very dog-like.
Yeah.
And so a feral dog can be confused for the thylacine. And undoubtedly, feral dogs are, I don't know, I would guess a vast majority of sightings are of feral dogs.
Was there any crossbreeding? Could a thylacine, couldn't.
With what?
With a canine.
They're marsupials. They're
no way.
like 40 million years apart on the evolutionary tree. So not even, no. Huh. Remember, thylacines are pouched marsupials.
I know.
Their closer relatives
bizarre.
are kangaroos and wombats and things like that. So
yeah.
I don't know. My own hunch, guess, hope, wish. But actually, even assessing it, again, what I said a second ago didn't sound right. Very competent scientist. I have no doubt whatsoever.
Right.
But I think your level of certainty is somewhat unwarranted because, again, you think, well, we're doing such a great job. We've done everything we can. Doesn't mean you haven't missed it. Doesn't mean you're not in the right places.
Right.
Doesn't mean you haven't just been in the right place at the right time.
How likely is it, if it did last up until the 40s or the 70s, that no skeletal remains would have ever been found? I mean,
if there are thylacines, they're insanely rare. They'd probably number. They could number 15, 20. As long as there's enough breeding population out there, they could be a couple, a few dozen. Given where they live, again, this is very rugged. Tasmania has very rugged.
So people
forests
just
and mountains.
aren't out there. They wouldn't come across one. Nobody would ever come across one.
Extremely rare animal. It's unlikely you're going to come across a skeleton. People sometimes say that for cryptids, like that's negative evidence, and we've never found a body of a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch, or a skeleton ever. And again, rugged, vast
also-
areas.
Also, clearly, they bury their dead.
And they probably do. But but there's two ways of looking at that. One is that, where they are, you wouldn't expect to see
Yeah.
a skeleton. And that's true.
Yeah.
And then, but cryptid, people say, oh, you never see any kind of remains of wild animals or skeletons of wild animals that we do know exist. So they might exist, which is just stupid because
Right.
of course you do. And people do. And hikers and park rangers have occasionally come across those kinds of things all the time. And one of my things is the idiotic supposed logical syllogism that the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Of course it is. It's great evidence for absence.
Yeah.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And people, even smart people, say that like, well, we admit that, No, don't admit that. It's idiotic. If you're looking for something and can't find it for a long enough time, that is the best possible evidence that thing does not exist, that thing is absent. And that applies to thylacines. But I still hold out hope that there is just a few out there. They've missed the cameras. He's not wrong that the efforts to go looking for them and setting up cameras have really been heightened this last 10 or 15 years, but I still hold out hope. And worst case scenario, in fact, they talked to the guy his name is Andrew Pass. He's an epigeneticist at the University of Melbourne. And he is one of those groups, there's at least two that I know of, are trying to recreate thylacines from genetic material that we have.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Are they trying to do that?
Part of me says, why haven't you done this yet?
Well-
we had Dolly the sheep in the 80s? So come on, get on it, do it, make
Yeah,
it
they
happen. I
can't-
want mammoths and thylacines tomorrow.
Jurassic Park is not a documentary. They can't
Yes, it is. I did not know that. What are you telling me?
They can't just take that DNA and clone an animal from it. They have to do something with
They have to put it in a similar
Yes, and there
creature.
isn't anything similar enough.
There's every marsupial. So of course there is. They have fairly close relatives. I can't remember the
But
closest one is.
What's it going to be like? It's not going to be. It's not going to be.
No,
like
but
a
they would be
thylacine.
able to. They'd be able to.
I mean, it's
and-
the only
and-
marsupial that looks like a dog.
Yes, its closest relative was I did read that once. Its closest marsupial relative was it might have been a quoll, which is a little tiny predator. I can't remember, but still you can get there. You can get close.
Okay.
Come on, get on it, Andrew and company.
Because, the woolly mammoth.
They put those in Asian elephants.
Yeah,
and have a
exactly.
pretty close cousin.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's my point.
I'm just saying that I'm just now finding out that Jurassic Park was on a documentary. I thought it was. And B, I have faith in them. I think I can do it. I want Tasmanian. I'm at thylacines tomorrow, roaming the island. But then the problem's going to be, were they already there? Or is this
Or
all
is that
clones? Yeah. Okay, so let's put them in, let's say, Northern California. And then we'll know for sure that they're all the clone thylacines. I'm just saying. Throwing it out there. Want that to happen.
Then you talk about unintended consequences.
No, totally intended. Actually, they belong in. I just said a few minutes ago, what predator is left in Tasmania? There really aren't any decent sized predators, and these didn't. It's not like they never were a threat to sheep. Maybe baby lambs. They have actually fairly weak jaws. They're not as big as you think they are. They hunt fairly small game. So I say we send them out, Tasmania, restore the ecological balance, whether they're cloned or real. And if they want to interbreed with the ones that were there the entire time, that's great. It's win-win. So that's my update for the thylacine.
Thanks.
It might have lived quite a bit longer than thought.
That
and
is
it still does.
groundbreaking, earth-shattering news.
I'm not sure I feel like you're being sarcastic right now.
I think
First you tell me that.
the pivot point in my life. Everything will be before I knew about
Okay, all right. Now you're just a monster. Thanks for not. So I guess you hate thylacines. Okay, so Carrie's on record of hating thylacines and wishing they remain extinct. I am the opposite. She's evil. I'm good. Okay. So that is our story, our stories, our updates, and a Weird World News Update special episode.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks
Until
for
next time.
listening. Bye.